So some of you might be thinking, what's wrong with Mrs. Okuda? She's obviously wearing a towel as clothing. The summer must have really gotten to her. But this isn't a towel. This is a white toga because I am running for office. Let's talk about what that means. So we need to talk about local government and elections. We already know about the different class systems that there is in Realm. We've learned about some of the different offices, and we have chosen who we'd prefer for these offices. But how do we actually get people elected, and what is the actual procedure to do it? So that's what we're going to learn about today. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually the elections themselves. So in the United States, elections are held in November. However, here in Rome, because obviously this is Rome, see, toga, elections were held in March at the end. And instead of having these grand ad campaigns or Facebook statuses, people would just write their slogans on walls. Yes, graffiti is political propaganda. I know you were excited about that. Remember that the next time you see, Sarah was here written on a wall. She's probably running for office. And to get people excited, people would have processions and parades just to get people all excited. And candidates would go to public meetings and they would speak about what they wanted to talk about. And everyone was super excited because they didn't have TV. I mean, what else were you excited about? But I think the most exciting part for Romans was the fact that candidates provided services. There's a phrase called bread and circuses that if you give people food and entertainment, they will always be happy with you. It's the whole idea of the Hunger Games. Hence is why in the Hunger Games, the country is called Panem for bread, and the games themselves are the circuses. So when people are running for office, they tend to give a lot of free things away. So public officials might give free bread to people in order to get them to run for office. They might make these huge entertainment games to make people just genuinely excited and remember who they are. So, because you want the common people to remember your name, you're more likely to spend money to get what you want. Now, if you were running for office, you would be considered a candidatus. Now, a candidatus is where you would actually wear a whitened toga, which is whitened from chalk, so people would just recognize them. So, usually when we have toga days at schools, it's not very common. Togas aren't worn all the time like toga parties would have us believe. They were worn by upper-class males running for office. And today, me, because obviously I am running for office and I have my handy dandy, not a towel, it's a toga. But now the question is how did they get their votes? Now we talked about people would start advertising by giving people food, making huge games. People would actually hire people to walk around and talking about how great they are. So I should start hiring people and be like, oh yeah, Mrs. Okuda, she's super great. She wears that towel super well. And then people will be like, oh yeah, we like her. She wears that towel super well. I am not exactly sure what's happening with my bangs right now, but I cannot see anything. Please excuse my hair. What is happening? I have no clue what is happening. I think I figured it out. Now, it is important to note that bribery was illegal. I can't just go around that says, hey guys, I will give you a Dr. Pepper if you vote for me. However, it happened all the time. Bribery is a huge thing that happened. And it's kind of one of the things that was kind of fun about it. Getting free stuff during election time. I mean, who doesn't enjoy free stuff? And of course, they would do all these wonderful things like, I promise that if I'm elected, you can get this, 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 and this. And I personally pay for it. Julius Caesar did that kind of stuff a lot. But you'll also have a lot of people trying to run for office because there was something called the cursus honorum that happened in Rome. And so there was something called the cursus honorum that happened in the Roman Empire. It's called the race of honors, or like the course of honors, whatever you want to call it. The whole idea around the cursus honorum is you can't just apply to be consul. That's just not how it worked. There was steps of ladders, kind of like there were steps you had to take on a ladder to get what you wanted. So instead of just applying to be consul, you would have to be like a quaestor, maybe an aedile, then a praetor, then a consul. And if you were a consul, then you could eventually become like a dictator, or then you could be a proconsul. Or if you were plebeian, you had certain steps you had to do as well. So that's what we're going to learn about next.